Good morning to you all and welcome to your first live show of the day, which is of course Wake Up Call. If you are one of our relatively new viewers here on Crafters TV, then Wake Up Call is the opportunity for you to have a look as to what's coming up throughout the day on Crafters TV. Now, if you were watching yesterday, you will know that we've started our brand new year, new craft. So that's going to be running all week. So we did have Sarah yesterday, which was all about die cut, and we had, well, two really fab launches yesterday. A lot of love and comments coming in for the show. But what we've got today, we have myself here presenting. We've just seen a moment ago, we've got Debbie. Debbie's going to be in, of course, demonstrating and
good morning.
Chatting away and having some fun.
It's going to be a good day, isn't it, Craig?
It is.
An absolutely good day. I just remembered last minute switching my watch off. That's what I was doing.
Right.
I realised I'd left the watch on. Good morning, everybody. Wake Up Call is going to be fabulous, isn't it? Because we're giving you a sneaky peek of something brand new that the Queen of Colouring herself will be back in later on today to officially launch. So yeah, we're really excited about this one, aren't we?
We're really
And I'm going to be in my happy place. I think Craig's going to have to do most of the talking today because I'm going to get lost in my little colouring coma because we've got tons and tons of different things, including the cutest characters you ever did see and the latest instalment of the Academy of Colour.
It is indeed.
And it is absolutely fabulous. Standalone box, but we'll work with all the others. But let's just say it is honestly a beautiful box. But what you get with this is the education. And let me tell you, there is no better person, Craig will agree with me, on this planet in terms of colouring than our lovely Leanne. And that's what you're in for a right treat today, because she's going to be with you from 2 p.m. all the way through the day. So it's going to be absolutely fabulous. Really is. So as Debbie was saying, that's what we've got planned for today. It's myself and Debbie for Wake Up Call, and then Ben and Leanne are going to be in the rest of the day. So with the middle show, as I like to call it, as Debbie was saying, 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time. Leanne and Ben, they're going to be having a look at your watercolouring. So it's all about New Year, New Craft, which we're focusing on stamping today. So that show is going to be all about watercolouring, and then at the end of the day, 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific time. Get the words out, Craig. You'll get there. Yeah, I know. And I always think to myself, Pacific and specific. You always Pacific. I do it all the time.
I do it all the time. So, with that one in mind, it is still all about stamping and it is all about alcohol colouring. So that is a course with Ben and Leanne. So what I would urge you to do as well is have a look across on our website. Because we are into 2023, that means on selective items we've got 23% off. Now head across there, it is going to be stamping, there's going to be some die cutting, there's going to be a lot of Spectrum Noir, so have a look there. It is all across on crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. But keeping of colour in mind, and we do have our brand new launch when it comes to Academy of Colour, all about the cute characters. We've got two options for you, one of which is a showstopper. This is your watercolour showstopper deal. Now, you are going to pay today £55 or $65. If you are platinum, that's going to come all the way down to £44 or $52. You are going to get the brand new Academy of Colour. This one is, of course, the cute characters. You're also going to get your primary aqua pens. You're also going to get your watercolour discovery kit. You're also going to get a 3-pack of sparkle pens, and you're also going to get a full pack of watercolour cardstock. So that one there, £55 or $65. And if that was not enough, we're also giving you 50 extra bonus points as well on top of that. So it's a win-win all around. Now, maybe you want to dip your toe into alcohol colouring, or maybe you want to stop up on a few items when it comes to your alcohol colouring. Well, we've got you covered as well. So don't forget, the last show of the day is going to be focused on alcohol colouring. This one is your alcohol colouring showstopper deal. This is a 54-piece collection. Now, you are going to be £65 or $100. If you are, of course, platinum, that's going to come all the way down to £52 or $80. You're also going to get 100 extra bonus points as well, just to to say as well, to put this kind of like into perspective, if you're buying the Illustrator pens, you're going to receive the other 3 items for £13 or $17. That is, it would usually be £44.97 or $68.97 for the 3 items. So that kind of puts into perspective the incredible value when it comes to, of course, the alcohol Showstopper deal. So that is last show of the deal. Now, if you do want to get our brand new Academy of Colour completely on its own, you can absolutely do this. So this is just launched today, Academy of Colour, cute characters. Now, £33.99 or $44.95. You are saving 30% on that one on a brand new launch, but if you're platinum, it's going to come down to $27.19 or $35.96. Now, Academy of Colour, it's all about cute characters, but what I would say it is all about, it's that education. Now, as Debbie said at the start, you could just opt into this as a one-time standalone box. Of course you could. You're still going to get that education from Leanne. Academy of Colour, it was starting you off at the very basis where you get all of the key tools, you get the folder, you get the binder, you've got everything that you've got to hand so that every single time Leanne comes along with a class with each new add-on box, this one being the cute characters, you're going to learn different ways in which you can colour, ways that you've maybe never thought of. For instance, me never thought about doing that underlay of the grey first, then building up on the top. She's going to show you how to create that curvature, how to get that shadow, whether it's top left, bottom right hand corner. It's about getting the fur, it's getting about the foliage, it's about getting movement. But it's that class with you and Leanne, one-on-one, and then of course afterwards you can come back and watch time and time again, maybe a little bit of a refresh on maybe what you've been learning from Leanne, or maybe you feel as though you're an experienced colorist, but you just want to get extra tips, and then you're going to take what you've learned from Leanne, and then you're going to start to bring that into your daily colouring. Whether, of course, it's alcohol, whether, of course, it's watercolouring, it's a nice little starter when it comes to the learning aspect. So let's have a look at these. So let's show you what you are going to be getting when it comes to the cute characters. Leanne will have 2 full hours later on about the Academy of Colour, but look at the characters. Look how cute they are. Now you know why it's called cute characters. You've got them in different stances. You've got them kissing, perfect, of course, for Valentine's Day with the bunny rabbits. You've got the umbrella. You've got the little cat there with the flowers, a ballerina mouse there. What about the little cupcake and the fairy as well? All of these, including these sentiment stamps, you are going to get. Now, within each box, you're going to get an additional collection of alcohol pens and water-based pens, aqua pens. These are dual colours, so you're going to get one at each side of your pen. Now, these are going to be used when Leanne comes to do the education, but of course, as you progress, you can start to use the other colours from the previous Academy of Colour boxes. Now, this is your pens. You're also going to get a top-up of your alcohol marker card. You're also going to get a top-up of your watercolour card, and this is how these cute characters look when they've been watercoloured. This is what you're going to learn with Leanne. You're going to learn a lot of other top tips. I'm going to show you them just in a moment, or maybe you're going to colour them with your alcohol pens. That's exactly what you can be doing. So this is what you can be doing when it comes to this one box, cute characters, but then look at a lot of the different elements, the different tones, the different looks that you're going to get when it comes to the alcohol colouring. So you're going to start off with the bases, laying down that colour, starting to build it up. Then you're going to end up with that full coloured image, getting that roundness, getting that fur, depending on the character. You are, of course, going to see all the steps included. Leanne will always tell you any little notes she has, she photographs them and pops them into the Facebook page, because there is an exclusive Facebook page that you can go across and say exclusive. Anyone can join, and Leanne has been open and honest about that. Anyone can join. It's lovely to see the journey. Leanne will dot in there sometimes. You'll post your colour and makes. She's going to give you some hints, some tips. She's going to then basically build that community when it comes to the colouring. Any little advice that she wants to give you, she will do that as well. So that is just when it comes to your alcohol colouring. Once again, what about the watercolouring aspect? You've got the different ways in which Leanne's going to teach you through the building of the colour, the direction of the colour, pulling the colour out. Another one here with your watercolour, you can see when it comes to all of the different shading. Maybe you are going to be using the pens that are included with the Alcohol Academy of Colour pens, Duo pens. Maybe you're going to follow Leanne, but you're going to bring in some of the other pens from the previous collection. You can do that. If we go back to the bunny rabbits, but this time it's with the water-based cardstock, and again this is getting the roundness, the shading, the depth, but with the Duo aqua pens included. So you can see the concept of the cute characters. It is a lovely collection to be getting that of course that education on top of that. So many of you at home, and I can guarantee so many will be saying it within the comments this morning, that the actual education is worth the whole cost of the Academy of Colour standalone. We're getting all the additional colouring elements, the stamps, the tools. This is just a little bonus for you all. So this is just giving you a light idea, indication when it comes to what you're going to be learning from this Cute Character Academy of Colour box. This one as well, don't forget you've got the videos with Leanne, you've got the opportunity to go back time and time again. You do have, of course, that QR code, kind of like a little ticket inside. All you're going to do is you're just going to then scan with your phone, and then it's going to take you direct to the videos once Leanne has done them. Leanne does the first one, she does it kind of like as a live, but then that video is for you to go back time and time again. Either as a little bit of a refresh when it comes to following along, but don't forget when you do come back, that means then you can pause, you can rewind, you can do a little bit of a recap as well if you need to. Key thing as well, it is that education, what I keep saying when it comes to any of these shows, such as the Academy of Colour. This is the brand new launch of the cute characters. It's $33.99 or $44.95. If you're platinum, it's going to come down to $27.19 or $35.96. Here's a few ideas in which you can then start to create when it comes to the finished article, the finished card, the finished project, straight onto black mat and layer, bringing in your pattern papers. Don't forget, you can do all your backgrounds when it comes to your aqua pens that you'll have seen with Leanne in the education previous. Look at that. So much love for the mouse already. We're waiting to have a look in the comments. There's loads of finished samples here. Don't forget, Leanne will be here with Sarah later on in the day with the brand new Academy of Colour cute characters in a lot more depth. Now we are going to jump across to Debbie, but we do have Rachel on the comments this morning saying, Sam McDonald saying good morning from a cold and wet Darlington. Yeah, it's the same here. Melanie's in from Florida. We've got Lisa's in from Minnesota. Sarah Brown is saying hello. Jeanette's in, Alicia's in, Terry's in. We've got Terry saying, this new video, Ben, reminds me of Jane Fonda workout videos. Yes. Terry, if you are watching later on the day, can you send that same comment again, but to Ben? I'm not going to say to him that you've said that. I'm going to let you say it to him and let him read it out and see what he says when it comes to that. He's maybe actually watching, and I know sometimes as he gets ready in the morning, if he's not on wake-up call, and he's not until later in the day, he will dip in. Sarah Brown saying, yay, two of my favourite people, Debbie and Craig. Shh, don't tell the others. We won't tell anyone. Sam McDonald saying, I love her, Craig and Debbie. A lot of love for me and you together again this morning, Debbie.
Oh, that's lovely.
A lot of love for the Academy of Colour. A few of you already saying as well that the cost of the Academy of Colour is worth it when it comes to the education alone. These kind of tools, the colouring tools, are an extra bonus. Any questions, any queries, just give us a shout. But Debbie, you love colouring.
I do.
This is mixing both alcohol and, of of course, your aqua pens, duo pens.
Yeah.
What's more to say about it?
Exactly, and that's exactly it. It's a mixture of both things that I absolutely love. I love alcohol colouring, I love watercolouring, and it's that next stage on. And like we've said, it is a standalone box, so if this is the first time you entering into the Academy of Colour, welcome, because that's fine. Yeah, there's the other ones that you can still get hold of. I think you can still get hold of some of them.
Some you can, yeah.
Some, not all, isn't it? Yeah, but yeah, you can absolutely still get hold of them. But this box will work on its own, and you get that tuition as well. So honestly, it's welcome for anybody who's just starting. And this might be that new year where you're starting with your new craft. And colouring might have been one of those that you've always avoided. So for me, this is a fabulous one because, you couldn't start with anything finer.
No.
As always, it comes in the box, and as always, that lovely little slogan there, your colouring journey continues, with that lovely magnetic clasp. I love the way that these boxes are presented. They're elegant, and they all stand on top of each other.
Yeah.
I've popped, I don't know about yourself, Craig, but I've popped some, do you know, like, is it hook and loop they call it?
Yeah.
Like that one. I put that underneath, and then they sit on top of each other, and they don't move, and then I've got everything there.
Great
to hand.
idea.
Yeah, so it's
really good idea.
Just a nice little thing. Or you can keep them separate, because it depends if you want to just pull a certain one off. But again, if you have got the full one, you then can take everything from your stamps into your binders. You can take your cardstock, put that into there, or you can keep it in there. It's entirely up to you. But it always comes well presented, and this is when I always struggle, because Debbie and her silly nails can never get into that bottom layer. But that's where your stamps live, and they are all ready for you to apply onto your ring binder tab, and then pop into there, and then all your cardstock underneath as well. So I'm going to delve straight in. I'm going to do a bit of colouring, if that's okay, Craig. So I'm going to bring out these, and I'm going to come in and grab out, because I'm going to start with, shall we start with the alcohol?
Let's go for it.
Shall we start with that one? Let's start there. Your pens as well, so very self-explanatory with your pens. And I say self-explanatory, I'll just explain. This side, where the black barrels live, are all your duo colours. I love that it's in a different barrel to the rest of our alcohol markers. Nice, slim, sleek, but your dual colours in the one that complement each other. So the tones that you're going to be able to get your shading and your depth and dimension with are in that one pen. And as you can see, each one has got its own colour, name. And if I just bring that in just for a second, so you can actually see what you're getting. So you've got rose, blush and peach satin in one. You have gossamer and soft lime in the other. Love the names of these.
Lovely names,
some good names. And in terms of the duo colour, we've got light mauve and pale fig. Beautiful. Love that.
Love it.
Pale fig in an alcohol form rather than the in the harmony pads.
Good,
love it. Blue porcelain and cool aqua. Now then, I'm going to say alabaster. Is that how you say it? Alabaster. I think that's how you say it. It's an unusual name,
it is, isn't
but it's
it?
more of your creamier tones, and the pale moonlight, they work in conjunction with each other.
Don't they?
And then powder pink and pearl. So that's your duo colours. And at the very bottom, you've got your water-based. So these are aquas, duo colour aquas. So this is your water-based ink. And again, you've got rose red and rose pink that will work beautifully together. I do love watercolour, and if Johnny permits, I will do some little bit of watercolour, because I absolutely love it. It's a very forgiving colouring medium in terms of how you literally can, and like I've said, we've said along with all of our things in our watercolour, our aquas and things like that, it's like demystifying, it's like breaking it down, it's making it simple, because you've got honestly, artist quality pens at your fingertips to create watercolour effects in a pen.
Absolutely.
Which just blows my mind every time. I think of watercolour and I think of all the paints and all. That's how I think when watercolour. But it's watercolour in the form of a pen with all those lovely effects that you can achieve.
Absolutely.
Stunning.
And I know I do say this time and time again, but when it comes to the Spectrum Noir brand, there's a reason why world-renowned artists are now using our Spectrum Noir kind of platform, whether it's alcohol or whether it's watercolouring as well. So, you know, that on top of Academy of Colour with Leanne. Wow.
Now the cutest characters, I'll just complete the colours, Craig. The duo colour, so we've got rose red, rose pink, we've got red, violet and orchid, and then we've got spice and tan. So you can see there's places where you can create fur, and where you can create your skin tones and hair tones and things like that, and dresses and whatnot. But if you have got the whole of the Academy colour, you've got a plethora of colours at your fingertips. So again, but for me, it's the education. The education blows me away. anyway every single
Can
time.
I just say as well, Leanne, it's because we're talking about Leanne's coming up later on. We're 20 minutes into our live show. Now, we do have a substantial amount of stock for this. 5% has gone off the box on its own. Now, you might think, okay, 5%. Considering the amount that we've got, 20 minutes into our first live show, 5% has gone. So it's just something to keep in mind.
And that's before Leanne gets here.
Exactly.
Because, I mean, I love colouring, but I'm not going to say I'm a colourist on Leanne's scale. I love colouring. I adore it. It's one of those really mindful crafts. And especially, as well, I find it one of the most inexpensive crafts. And I don't mean that in a horrible way, but I think, do you know, instead of terms of machines and dyes and all those kind of things, which are fabulous if that ticks your box. But it may be a craft that you want that's a bit more mindful, a bit more relaxing, that anybody can get involved with, that anybody of any age can do. And I just think it's one of those that I know you'll love, and perhaps if you have been scared, this is probably the best way to get started.
Definitely.
So I've taken one of the alcohol sheets that are in that box, and I'm just going to pop this down onto. I'm going to use I'm going to do the little fairy. I think the little cute fairy. She's so cute.
It's funny because Zoe Carver on YouTube. Now, I'm not sure. You could always maybe send this comment to Ben later on, and Leanne will answer, asking, has the fairy been designed with Leanne in mind? maybe colouring fairy.
I get. Yeah, let me just bring in a card to show you. Yeah, I think I get you.
Yeah.
It does. It looks like, in fact, actually, it looks like a little granddaughter, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't
yes,
it?
Do you know? I wonder if that were deliberate. Right, because I'm going to be colouring in with the duo alcohol markers. This is when you're looking at your ink pads and which one you're going to need for which medium. So with your duo markers and your alcohol, you're going to take your alcohol-proof non-smear with alcohol ink dye pad, and then if you're going to use the aqua markers, we'll move on to that one afterwards, just in case this is sometimes brand new to you and you're not sure which is which. Make it very easy because we put an alcohol marker onto the front. So let's just give this a nice stamped image. I'll show you some more lovely samples that the design team have done as well, Craig, because there's some, do you know that, what I call the do you know when we use black, it's quite a vivid and strong image and then colour, but there's some of the samples in there which teach you how to do it in a lighter colour, so you get none of that, do you know the light, they call it a no line, don't they? I think the technique, I can't remember the actual technique, I'm pretty sure Leanne will remind me later on.
It's kind of like, if you were to go with one of those light tone colours that Debbie was showing you, it's kind of like stamping with, say for instance, a quick dry sandstorm.
Yes.
And it's giving you that very faint line, so it looks as though you've coloured within no lines. It's an incredible technique.
It's just fabulous, isn't it?
That you learn
it's something I'm going to try more of this year, because I like to take my colouring journey on a little bit more. Let me just tell you, with the Academy of Colour, is really helping. It really is, because you just learn so much all the time. Now, I'm just going to pop a little sheet underneath, just so I can make sure that none of the alcohol rests on the mat when I'm coming through there. And then we'll just start colouring. So I think I'm going to take, let's take the, and if I remember rightly, the rose blush and peach satin, and we'll just do a tiny little bit of colour. Now, I always say to anybody when you get, do yourself a little, your own one of these. And I don't mean necessarily printing it off and then getting, but having a little swatch. So you've got a swatch, and I keep it in my Academy of Colour trays, so that I know what colour, and you can see it better when it's on cardstock, because although the pens are fabulous, they sometimes don't give you a true representation of the colour. So just have a little swatch at the side onto a little scrap piece of cardstock, and maybe possibly put that's the peach satin, or the code, because they're all coded as well. So they've got their code, so you can actually put that code on there as well. But that's just a little tip. So let's start, and I'm going to start with, let's start with a face. I love these dual tip markers, the duo markers, because of the tip itself. You've got a lovely like fluidity, can I say fluid? It's like a bendable nib, but then that really precision nib right at that very end, and you just can't beat the quality.
Just before you explain what you're doing, Debbie, there is a Showstopper deal as well if you want. So you've got the new Academy of Colour in with this Showstopper deal, £55 or $65. If you are platinum, it comes down to £44 or $52. You are going to get some watercolour cards, you're going to get a discovery kit, some sparkle pens, you're also going to get your primary aqua pens as well. Top of that, you are going to be getting 50 extra bonus points. Just to put it into perspective, if when it comes to that Showstopper deal, it works out that you are paying for the Academy of Colour, and then everything else you're going to get for just over £20 or $20. So you're paying for that. Now the aqua pens alone are worth kind of like £22. So in actual fact, Academy of Colour and the aqua pens, they come to $56.98 or $77.94. So look at that. Your today's price is less than that, and you're getting everything else as well. So it's something just to keep in mind. If you do want to go for the Academy of Colour on its own, perfect, but there's an incredible Showstopper deal. Sorry, Debbie, I just wanted to...
No, it's absolutely fine. I was just laying down an initial part of the colour. Yeah. Now, with any alcohol pen, you have that... that translucency, which means you can build up. So you can build up the colour as well with your one pen.
Definitely.
So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to build up a little bit of shading. Of course, if you've got the whole of the Academy of Colour, you could be taking colours from your other one. But all I'm going to do is just lay down a little bit more. And when you go back over, you'll see that it starts to deepen in colour. So coming around the side of a hair, let's just go in like so. And again, I'm just going to come down, and I'm doing some light little flicking motions. But again, you could take one of the other colours as well and build up. But I'm going to stick with this one.
Okay,
I'm going to come underneath. And any nature of any alcohol pen is it doesn't dry instantly, so it's very wet when it lays on your sheet, and then it will dry, and that's when you'll start to see that shading coming through. So I'm just going to come in. I'm not going to worry too much that I've gone a little bit over onto her hair, because I can build that up, and I'm definitely not going to worry about her hand, because her hand is the same colour.
Yeah.
So let's go down and start to build this up. So again, I'm going to leave what I call a little bit of preserved highlight just in that centre of her arm. I'm going to take this around the top of her shoulder. Would be naturally darker there on the top of her shoulder. But again, it's all that education.
That's it.
I think for me, the key to the whole of this is that education that you're getting from Leanne.
Absolutely,
it's priceless.
And
it's worth that box and 10 times more of that price.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know, I was away to say that as well. You know, we come here on Crafters TV and we talk about, you know, preserving the highlight. Maybe you're not quite sure the purpose of it, the reasoning to it, where to put it. Maybe you've actually then gone and coloured that whole image and you forgot to do it. Leanne will teach you how you can then do it naturally, how you can do your own kind of little direction when it comes to preserving the highlight, or again, it's building up depth of colour with just a few pens. Let me tell you, your grey pen, if you've gone in with the Academy of Colour towards the start, or are in that whole journey, the grey pen, it's incredible how much use that grey pen is.
That laying it down can alter the colour.
Exactly.
And I never realised, and it's something that I never really tried either, Craig, because I think I was a little bit too scared to try it until I saw Leanne do it, and I thought, oh, what a difference it makes. But again, all that education's there for you. There's just so much education, it's untrue. Honestly, and the things that you learn. And do you know what I've loved as well is what people have been sharing on those groups, and they're sharing their makes and I just think it's lovely to see people growing in confidence, because everybody can colour. If you can pick up a pen, anybody can colour. I really do mean that. It's just about that education, about that learning curve. And of course the fun and that mindfulness. We've talked a lot of it just recently, but that mindful, it can melt away all your stress, it can melt away all your worry, and it's one of those lovely joyous crafts that everybody can get involved with.
It really is.
You can sit with your grandkids at the table, or your kids, or your mum, or your dad, or your brother, or your sister. You can sit with anybody, and you can all join in and really achieve and a happy place.
It is a
really happy place. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's what Leanne is absolutely adamant when it comes to the group. It's a happy place. We've got Zoe saying, do you have to be on Facebook to watch the classes, or is it on YouTube as well? Facebook isn't needed. You can use it without Facebook, of course. And Rachel, thank you so much, Rachel. She's actually added a link to the group in all the comments. So if you want to, you know, it is on Facebook, Academy of Colour, but just follow that link that Rachel's added. And as Debbie was saying, as Leanne will tell you, it's a lovely group. It's a caring group. It is a group that spurs you on when it comes to the journey of your colouring with Leanne.
Absolutely, and I'm just going to continue to just colour in. Oh, I'll do her legs while I'm here, Craig, because I'll end up putting it away, and then we'll do a little bit of the hair as well. Now, obviously, I could spend 2 full hours doing all of this colouring, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna speed things because we've got lots to cover in this show. Obviously, for all of your expert tuition, there will be no better person than later on to come and watch our fabulous Leanne in action, because she is honestly, the amount of things that me and both myself and Craig have learnt from her are untrue. It really is. So I'm going to give her a little bit of a, let's give her a little bit of a pink lip. Let's give her a little, yeah, we'll give her a little bit of pink lip. I think I'm going to give her, now then, let's have a look, 'cause there's a little bit of blue in here. Should we give her a little blue eye?
And it's one of those as well. You might watch the class once. You might watch it twice. You might watch it 3 times before you actually start to follow along with Leanne's education. And you can do that. You can do it completely at your own level. Similar to kind of our craft alongs that we do, many of you will sit and watch the craft along first, then you'll do the craft along later once it is giving you the opportunity to rewind or fast forward and all these different things that you can do. And that's the joyous thing, you know, you can do them at your own level, at your own speed. You know that you can dot back to as many times as you want. Leanne has also said that as well, these classes will be there for pretty much infinity. They will always be there for you to go back with. As it is at the moment, they are only they are available for those who dip into the Academy of Colour, whether you're using this as a standalone or, of course, you're on that full Academy of Colour journey, then you can then do that, of course. So, I mean, you see the images that you've got when it comes to the colouring. It's looking beautiful within that shading that Debbie's doing as well.
I do love colouring, and I'm sorry, I know I'm doing it again, Craig, but I stopped talking.
No,
got to remember to talk. You've got to talk, Debbie.
We're that good friends now, Debbie, that, you know, I'm comfortable if you're just saying, Craig, can you just be quiet a minute, just so that I can speak. But, you know, I know many of us are like that with alcohol colouring.
Oh, you do. You just get lost in your little world, don't you, when you are colouring. And of course, don't forget, I'm just using the pen from the box. If you've got the rest and the remainder, you can then start to match up your colours and add your depth and add your dimension. I am just using the one set of colours, and I promise you, Leanne later on this afternoon will be certainly taking you through all of that. Now you can see just by laying down a little bit darker underneath that arm, and I've kept it quite light down here. You've got the 2 tones that work together. It's a dual colour, so it does work together really lovely as well. But you just have a play on it. But adding depth and dimension, adding your grey pen, like Craig said, adding other colours into it will really elevate and lift it and take your colouring onto a whole new level. And I promise, Leanne, what Leanne doesn't teach you after, well, I think I'd pack it in because there's no better teacher than our lovely Leanne, and the things that you learn are just incredible.
By the end of the Academy of Colour, things that you've maybe not learned, you don't really need to know. Basically, in my opinion, throughout this whole Academy of Colour education, from when it first started to what will be the very last one, there's still a fair few to go before we come to the last one, you will have learned what you need to know when it comes to watercolouring, alcohol colouring, and the blending, the shade and the depth, the direction, all the different tones. Yeah,
absolutely. Because things like learning about your shading on your skin, I mean, I'm just laying down one colour at the moment, well, I've laid down the lightest colour, going in with a darker one, but there's other colours in that system that you can then pick up as well and add to create more depth and dimension. But I'm just going to come in, and if you've noticed, I'm just turning my cardstock around to make it that little bit easier. But I am conscious that I'm going to end up spending the whole of these 2 hours colouring the image in if I'm not careful, Craig. And you don't want to see me colouring the whole of it, but we can colour the majority, and we'll talk about the rest of what you can do. And of course, later on with our lovely Leanne as well.
Gosh, yeah. If there is, of course, any questions about the Academy of Colour, of course, feel free to send them across to myself and Debbie. Although what I would say, when you've got Leanne here on Crafters TV, take advantage advantage.
Yeah.
And as I say, by all means send the questions across now and we will answer them. But with Leanne in later on with Ben, that's going to be the perfect opportunity to send any questions about the alcohol colouring, watercolouring, or anything that you just need to ask in general about your colouring.
Absolutely. And I'm just going to leave that just for a second because there's other things that you can do as well where you can mix colours up. So you could start off, and I'll just come up, I've gone in with one of the pinks, and I'm just going to start by taking it up. And then you can join the two colours. I'll go in with that darker one so you can see it that little bit better. And you can blend between the two. And although it's different colours, you can get a technique. The technique that I like to do is where I drop the colour on top of the brush and then get that blend through. But you can see that that's blended through really quite nicely just by laying down those two colours. So yeah, there's lots of things and hints and tips and tricks that you're going to learn throughout the Academy of Colour, and learning about mixing with your colours, because automatically you would think, what you're doing? You wouldn't do that, but you would. And this is the thing that Leanne's going to teach you. Lots and lots of different things. So I'm just going to drag that down between the two. What's that? The
Showstopper deal.
Yes.
10% has gone already. We're 36 minutes into the live show. Now, there's not as many Showstopper collections as we have the Academy of Colour, but I think so many have seen the value. You know, that £55 or $65, it does work out that you're paying for the Academy of Colour and you're getting everything else for £20 or $20, plus your 50 extra bonus points. Or my thinking is getting the Academy of Colour and the 12 aqua pens, that comes to $56.98 or $77.94. So that's above your today's price. You are paying the today's price and you're getting everything else as well. That's why I think 10%. But keeping in mind, if you're platinum, it comes down even more to £44 or $52, plus your 50 extra bonus points as well. That's why I believe that 10% has gone off this Showstopper deal already.
It's a great deal. I said this to you at the beginning, didn't I? I said that's a cracking deal. And even if you might have got some already, that you could just take the Academy of Colour and then gift the others. Especially that watercolour. Do you know the Discovery Kit? One of my favourite Discovery Kits that we've ever done. You could be gifting that to someone and letting them have a little go into the world of colour as well. So yeah, absolutely fabulous. It really, really is a great deal, and I'm not surprised so many of you are taking the opportunity.
Yeah.
So again, you just have to excuse me because I've gotten a little bit hot.
Okay, no problem.
So I just saw literally, do you know it's pouring off me, and I thought, what? I'm not watercolouring. Where's that water come from? And I realised it's coming off me because I feel like I've just gone 100,000 degrees.
Yeah, but
I'm just going to continue to colour while I dab myself down a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. Because the thing is as well, we've got so much that we want to show you from throughout today. Now, I did of course go over that full bundle a moment ago. That is of course your collection where 10% has gone already. So this is where I was saying the actual value. So your actual Academy of Colour, new one that launched today, and your aqua pens. These two together come at $56.98 or $77.94. But look at your today's price where you're going to get everything, even better if you're platinum, £44 or $52. But you're also getting your 50 extra bonus points as well. I can't believe it. We've got a limited stock already. Green on the screen, Debbie, which means
be seen.
This is your Tri-Blend Brush Marker Complete Collection. 24-piece collection, 30% saving here. Today's price, £55.83. If you're platinum, it comes down to £44 or $66.40. So that one there is limited stock when it comes to your tri-blends. Right here, we're waiting back to Debbie, and we're just going to have a look at this finished fairy. Well,
I've nearly finished. The only thing I haven't done is the hair, but you get the gist, and you can kind of see by just adding, and you can build up that shading yourself, even if you're just using this kit on its own. Leanne's going to be teaching you later, but with using this kit as well as the others, how you can create some more shade and depth and dimension. But from that one colour, I've been able to go to this darker shade round here and then into the lighter, and then mixing the two colours to give it this lovely angel kind of effect. And I could do the same with the dress as well. But you get the gist, and I think you understand the value alone when it comes to all the education and all the things that you can be doing with this fabulous set, because it really is. That's the duo markers. And then we've got the watercolour as well. Sorry, George, I didn't realise you were coming in close there. Sorry. I should have looked up. But there you go. So all your duo markers, look at the images when they're coloured in as well. So the images themselves, when they're all stamped out, and sentiment. So if you do love turning them into cards, you can absolutely do that as well. Like I said, the value for me in this kit is, yes, you've got all those fabulous cute character stamps. Yes, you've got all the duo markers, the alcohol and the water, the aqua marker, the aqua duos. Let me get the right way around, Craig. But these are the kind of things that you can be doing. Do you know, I talked about that no line colour. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And you can't see, whereas with the dark, the difference between the two, and this has been stamped out in a pale blue and then coloured in, and the look, it's completely different look. And if I try and find the other one that I just saw a second ago, Craig, because I saw her, I think it must have been with you, but it's where it's all stamped out in the black, and the difference is absolutely phenomenal. But aren't they super cute? Yeah. I mean, they really are super cute. Mix and match with your papers. Look at him eating his cherry. I absolutely love that. In fact, I'm not going to lie, that is my favourite. Oh, thank you. That's the lovely fairy. Look at the fairy that you can be doing yourself when you take your colouring onto a whole new level. And if you have got the full Academy of Colour, that's a mixture of everything that's in there. It's not just those pens that are from the cute character stamp set. So you can be achieving lots of different looks. Again, look, the no line art, this is a watercolour. And you can still achieve that with the watercolour effect as well. I'm just going to show you a few more because I think they're just so cute, these characters. Look at this. This is a gorgeous one because it not only is it being coloured in with the water, based aqua, get it right, Debbie, aqua duos. Oh my God, duo colour aqua. Look at the background. There's been a background created with it as well. I do love watercolour. I'm an absolute massive fan of watercolour, just because of the looks that you can achieve and the different things that you can achieve, including this lovely one. That background where the mouse is grounded, it's been fussy cutted around, coloured in with the duo colour aqua, and then the background has been made as well with a faux bleaching technique, and so it all ties in together. Obviously that's in your card making. It may be that you just want this kit to just go on that colouring journey and not make anything out using it, but again, it's just absolutely, I think for me it's the education that you just can't buy because it's coming to you wrapped up in that price. But to me, the value in that price there is absolutely phenomenal anyway. And the education is the free bit, the free bit that's accessible at any time, by you at any time. Pause, rewind, go back, and for me, that's what is the beauty of this kit. It's absolutely amazing, and I can't wait. I only wish. I'm wondering if I'll be able to dart down that motorway and get back at 2 o'clock. But I can catch up later because I'm going to watch our lovely Leanne in action because she's got loads planned later on with the official launch of the Academy of Colour. We're giving you that sneaky peek and that first opportunity. Have you seen them?
I've seen her demos.
Like I say, I didn't spy them. I normally go and have a little look round, and I thought they might be lying under here, so I can have a little peek, and they're not. She's got them hidden away, but it'll be phenomenal. It really will be phenomenal. Get it now. Sit back and enjoy the show later on. Get your notebooks out, or maybe just like I said, you can use with your others. If you've got the other ones, you could be taking like, little hints and tips from there.
Hopefully, if anything, you can see how passionate both myself and Debbie are about Leanne's and the Academy of Colour. What's lovely as well, what you learn from the Academy of Colour isn't just Academy of Colour. You can take what you've learned from Leanne and use it with your other colouring. So that one is the Showstopper deal. This is the sort of day when we've got a launch of Academy of Colour to stock up on key essentials. So we've got a star by, then we'll do some comments, and then we'll have a little bit of a break because this is your watercolour essential star by. Don't know why I felt like I had to do that with my hands, kind of like stars, but that is the star. Bye. £35 or $45. If you are platinum, it's going to come down to £28 or $36. You're going to get your full set of your tray. So you're getting 6 of these ones here. Now these are going to store your classiques, your Illustrator pens. They will store your sparkle pens as well. Tri-blends do fit, but they protrude out over the edge, but it still holds them. And although for me, my Academy of Colour pens, I keep within the actual boxes, if you wanted, you could absolutely store them in here. You just need to keep in mind that your Academy of Colour pens are a round barrel, so they're smaller than each individual section, but it's entirely up to you. So that is what you're going to be getting. And you're going to get your 13 by 19 inch mat. This is your craft mat, this is your heat proof mat. This is where if you don't have a glass mat, you can do all your blending, your background, you can do your heat embossing. We've even popped a little refill when it comes to your round blending foam pads. So you've got 10 of those ones, that's included. And then when it comes to the Academy of Colour launch, you do want to stock up when it comes to your cardstock. Now we do have some bundles across on our website that you can have a look at, but when it comes to this star buy, you're getting a full pack of your watercolour cardstock, and then you're also going to get a full pad of your 9x12 300 GSM premium all alcohol colour cardstock. So this would work in conjunction with your Nina cardstock. Both of them are incredible quality for when it comes to your alcohol colouring, but this one you're getting your Spectrum Noir premium white cardstock. So all of that for that phenomenal £35 or $45. But as we always say as well, if you are in Club Inspire, doesn't matter whether it's a warehouse clearance, cart load, whether it's a star buy, whether it's a new launch, you'll always get your Club Inspire on top of that one. Right, let's say a few hellos before we take that little bit of a break, because I know when we come back from the break, the percentage of the actual Showstopper that we showed you is going to be even less because so many are waiting to check it out. But we've got Charlotte Everett on YouTube is saying, I've got Mr. Yodel on his way to me. Got 52 stops before mine, but I'm excited to see which parcel it is, as I've got 7 on the way. Wow, 7 parcels on the way. Michelle is saying, I love the mouse. Linda Armstead on YouTube is saying, the Academy of Colour is great. I love learning everything. Sam McDonald is saying, I absolutely love Academy of Colour, and I have all the other collections as well as this new one. We've got, and do you know something, Sarah, I noticed as well? Oh, look, Craig is matching the box in the corner with his shirt today. I've done it again. I've done it again, unintentionally. But unintentionally, I am matching the box.
Mr. Laird, you'll tell me anything.
No, definitely unintentionally. It's actually getting quite freaky the more times that I seem to be
It must be in subconscious. You know, they talk about the subconscious where you...
It's got to be.
Yeah, is it sublimity?
Sublimatory.
That word, yeah, that word, that big word that I can't say.
Yeah.
Where it's in your conscious.
That's it, in the back of your mind.
Yeah, it's really quite spooky.
Spooky at times, isn't it? Terry Anderson on YouTube saying, I was afraid of the brush tip pens before Academy of Colour. Now the brush tips are my favourite. There you go. You might have a favourite. Watch Leanne, and that's going to change, maybe. We've also got Carol McDaniel on YouTube saying, I love to watch the colouring shows. I always learn something. Debbie and Craig are great teachers. Bless you, that's really lovely of you to say. Just a couple more. We've also, Terry Anderson once again is actually saying, I have to agree with Craig with what Craig has said about the Academy of Colour group. The group mirrors the love and kindness of Crafters Companion Group. Always helpful and full of love and kindness.
Oh, that's really
lovely. Thank you for saying that, because it's lovely for others to know that as well. Alison Lee on Facebook, well, haven't sat on my hands today. Went for the Showstopper deal. How about everyone else? I think a lot of you have as well. Jill is saying, Debbie, stay and watch, grab a comfy seat, watch in the studio. I've been known to do that in the past, yeah. And Cara Willing on YouTube is saying, which box is Flora and Fauna? Was it before or after the feather and fur? Now you're asking.
I think Flora and Fauna. So I think, oh my goodness, in my head I was going to say it was the last one. But I've just realised it wasn't, was it? Flora and Fauna wasn't the last one. Was that the first one?
So
Portraits first. Portraits first.
Then
the Queen of Craft is there herself.
Yes.
The Queen has just walked past.
She's just walked past. Just
We
walked
could have
past the
asked
window.
her. We could have asked her. Johnny, if she walks past you, ask her quick.
Yeah.
But it definitely will
So
put...
it's box 2.
Oh, there you go.
Yes,
and
box
then
2.
there was the third one, and then the cute character, which was the fourth. That's it, yeah.
Really,
Trying to remember
really
what the third one was now.
We got there. We got there, didn't
Eventually.
we did in the end. Righto, let's take a little bit of a break when it comes to the Academy of Colour, because we can talk and wax lyrical about it. But we're going to give you the opportunity to check out your basket. If you, key thing as well, if you have not shopped with us before, this is your first order, and maybe you're going to go for the Academy of Colour, you're going to get 20% off your first order. If you want to know about how to go about getting that 20%, here is Sarah to tell you all about Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every pound, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
The one that was really funny, Ben. You did.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I am a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we clip that?
We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, you know, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV, create every day.
I have to tell you, every single person works tirelessly behind the scenes, and I can't just give a shout out to one person, because for me it has to be John, Tracy and Jake.
Going to give a shout out to our backstage hero, and I'm actually going to say heroes. It has got to be our product coordination team. It's got to be.
Because without those three people, when we're on air, we wouldn't be able to function like we do. They make sure we have everything we need, right from the samples to the product to having a drink of water throughout the show. They really look after us.
You see us day in, day out, 7 days a week, live on TV. We're crafting away. We're hopefully inspiring you. Every single card, every single product, every single tool that we touch has come from product coordination. Those guys are the unsung hero. They're there making sure we have the products, we have the inks, we have the tools, we have everything that we need. We have the power to actually work our Gemini ranges. The smooth running of behind the scenes of Crafters TV is all down to our product coordination team. I've just read Jerry Lynn on Facebook. This is absolutely lovely, saying, I buy 2 of the Academy of Colour kits, one for me and one for my daughter, and we get to play together. We have so much fun doing the lessons together. We've been waiting for the cute character set. Can't wait for the order to get here. That's lovely. And what's also lovely as well, Leanne said in the past, when it comes to the age, you know, if you were saying, can I do this with my young granddaughter or grandson? And absolutely you can. As Leanne would say, you know, if they are at that age where they can concentrate and they can follow and they can learn, what a brilliant way for them to work on their colouring. Charlotte Everett saying, I have to say, I use my colouring pens and ink pads pretty much every day. Probably my most used. I think a lot of people would think the same. And Rhonda on YouTube is saying, I just checked out, I buy 2 Academy of Colour sets each time they come out. One for me, one for my son. I add paper to my cart and still came up 30 cents short. Oh, 30 cents short of the free shipping. Oh, maybe putting a tape pen or some more cardstock or something. When it comes to the launch of Academy of Colour, please check out the website for more Nina cardstock or, of course, your watercolour cardstock, because let me tell you, you are going to need that, that's for sure. Lovely to have within the craft room or, of course, your craft den anyway, but it's a lovely one to have as extras when it comes to the Academy of Colour. Now, don't forget, this whole week is all about New Year, New Craft. Yesterday was all about die cutting when it comes to Ben and Sarah. Today, after Wake Up Call, we're going to hand over the reins to Ben and Leanne, and it's New Year, New Craft. It's all about stamping. We've focused and featured watercolouring, but we're then away to do it at the end of the day. So 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Leanne's going to look more at the alcohol colouring. So guess what? We can't have one watercolour showstopper without an alcohol showstopper, and that's exactly what we've got. This is your alcohol colouring showstopper deal, 54 piece. Now today's price, $65 or £65 or $100. If you are platinum, it's going to come down to £52 or $80. Now it works out that you're buying the Illustrator pens, which are already kind of like at a 30% saving, and you're getting everything else. So you're going to get your Brights, 12-pack Classics. You're going to be getting your Tri-Blends, Exotic Blends, and you're also going to get your watercolour card for £13.17. It comes to $44.97 or $68.97. That is phenomenal. So all of that, you are going to be $65 or $100. But as I say, it works out if you buy the Illustrators already at that saving kind of, and you're going to get the rest for £13 or $17. The other 3 items that I'm referring to would come down to $44.97 or $68.97. I mean, look at that platinum price as well. Once again, makes it even better when it comes to buying the Illustrators, getting the whole lot for free for £52 or $80. So you've got your Classics 12-pack, you've got your Tri-Blends Exotic Blend, you've got your Illustrator pens that are your colouring essentials, plus your full 16 sheet of your Nina cardstock. Now, we've had a look at one of the fairy stamps that come in with the brand new cute character Academy of Colour. Maybe you want to have a few more inspirational stamps. This is the Angel Inspiration 3-piece stamping die set. Now, it does say 3-piece. That's because you've got 3 packs, but you've got a number of stamping dies within each of the packs. $12.99 or $14.95. You are saving £25.98 or $29.90. Platinum comes down to £10.39 or $11.96. It works out as buying one and you're going to get 2 for free. So buying one, getting 2 for free, that's what it works out at, which is exquisite value. We've got a little bit of a secret for you. We've got the Secret Garden stamp selection. This is 18 elements. Wow, $4.99 or $6.95. You're saving 65%. Seriously, platinum price for all 3 sets, £3.99 or $5.56. You can't even get a meal deal nowadays for that price in the supermarkets. That is ridiculous. And I say that, but that's a ridiculous good price for all of you at home. So $3.99 or $5.56 for that Secret Garden 18 Elements. Now we're still going to have a look at our stamps. This is a sorted 3-piece stamp collection. Now you're going to get your stamps there from your vintage butterfly. You're also going to get there's 2 little cats there. You're going to get Reach for the Sky, which is the giraffe, and then you're also going to get the pussycats as well. $7.99 or $9.99, also saving of 65%. However, platinum comes down to £6.39 or $7.99. Maybe you want to get stuck into your colouring, but you don't necessarily want to have the ink pads and the stamping platform and additional stamps. We've got the colouring pad selection here. You're getting all 3 of these for $9.99 or $12.95. Platinum comes down to $7.99 or $10.36. It basically works out as well. You're buying 1, you're getting 2 for free, which is crazy good. So that one eliminates the need for your cardstock, your inks, and any stamps. It's all printed. You are going to get 6 images within each book, and you're going to get 6 of each. Plus, you are going to get your die-cut foiled sentiments in the back of each one as well. $7.99 platinum or $10.36. Right, we are going to keep focusing on the alcohol colouring Showstopper deal. So this is where you are, of course, going to get your illustrators, your classics. You're going to be getting, of course, your tri-blends, and you are going to be getting your Nina cardstock. Maybe you are once again venturing into alcohol colouring. This is 3 of our most used alcohol medium pens. Classic, tick. Illustrator pens, tick. Tri-blends, tick. What more do you want?
It's a lovely one. Honestly, I'm really blown away with this one because it gives you a taster of, and also as well, lots of colours.
Exactly.
Lots of colours, and they're all alcohol based, so they're all going to work with each other. They're just a different style of pen. And I'm going to just bring in just for a second before we start doing some colouring, but just so you can see the difference between what we've got. Now, the original, I'll call it the original because that's where we started with our pens. They've changed over the years. We're now happy with the barrel that we've got, with the proprietary ink that we have as well. We've got a classic, which is the form of a pen that is a dual-tipped marker, ergonomically shaped to fit comfortably in your hand, regardless of any mobility issues. And I say mobilities, I mean in your hands. They fit comfortably. They don't hurt. So you know some pens that you can hold, and after a while they hurt. You don't get that with this because of this shape. And also the fact that it's on that barrel means that it's not one of those that rolls around everywhere. I've had pens in past that have rolled around all over. So what you have there is your nice brush nib, Debbie, that's not a brush nib, bullet nib. Should we call it a bullet nib? Yeah.
Bullet nib, yeah.
And then we've got the chisel nib. Now the thing with this, and I can tell this pen, I've picked this one up purposely because I knew it was running out, is we can re-ink them.
We can.
By simply removing the top end of this, and it means it's a system that you're buying into and you don't need to replace because it's one that you can re-ink. And each individual colour has its own name. So Eggshell for this one and FS8. So its own name, own code, which means your re-inker that you'd be looking for is FS8.
Perfect.
Eggshell. And that means then you take that out at the top, drop your few droplets in. When I say droplets, a few, this is a big barrel. There's a lot in there. You can get quite a nice bit of ink in there. So yes, that's the classic. The Illustrator was the next one that we moved up to in terms of, this is the same colour that I've got here, but, and in fact, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll leave off the top so you can see the difference visibly. Yeah. So we have what we call a bullet nib on the classic with a chisel nib. On the Illustrator, you'll see it's a much more finer nib. So it means more finer details, or a really lovely nib, but 2 different styles and for 2 different purposes. Will work alongside each other. But the difference with this is if you've got this lovely Japanese brush nib end, it's got that lovely fluidity in the terms of how much you can lay down, your flicking techniques that you can do with it as well, and building up your colour. And again, it just means you've got more flexibility in terms of your pens, especially if you're collecting the whole lot. We're giving you a taster. The show-stopping deal is a taster of all things classic, all things Illustrator, and of course mine, and I think maybe possibly Craig's favourites as well, tri-blends.
Gosh, yeah.
I just love a tri-blend. A tri-blend is, so where these are just a one colour, so I've taken the eggshell just as a point of purpose, a point of reference. The eggshell, the FS8, FS8 are the two different pens, same colour, different coloured barrels to differentiate. The markings on there as well. And also your tri-blend now is a 3-colour. And I say 3-colour, 3 shades of that colour. So it's the same colour, so it's the FS8, but it's got 2 other different shades in there. So I'm not having to go looking around for the pens that match down. But again, you've given me a taster. We're giving you a dabble into that world. And the difference here is that you've got 3 shades of that fair skin, and I say fair skin, because this one's called the Fair Skin Blend. Basically, it's the eggshell and the next one down and the next one down, but we couldn't call it that. It did end up being a really long name.
Imagine that one, I know.
Yeah, so we've just called it the Fair Skin Blend so that we know it works with the fair skin. You've got your light, your medium, your dark, your 3 shades in one pen. Revolutionary, innovative. Ooh, look at me with big words. Ooh, swallowed the dictionary this morning. But I never usually manage the most simplest of words, yet I can come out with the big words like those too.
Isn't it funny how, and I'm the same as well, it could happen here if I'm on Hobby Maker here in the UK. The easiest of words can trip me up, but every now and again I come out with this great big elaborate word.
It's crackers, isn't it? Absolutely crackers. Now I've already stamped an image. I'm going to use Connie Fong, and I've taken those gorgeous tri-blends that are on Craig's desk over there. Truth be known, I've pinched his pens, he don't know yet. But I've got the pens.
I don't mind.
Look at the colours that you're getting in this set. You've got the aqua blue blend, you've got the gold yellow blend, magenta blend, light green, you've got burnt orange and pink violet. So you've got yourself a nice little rainbow of colours there that are going to work beautifully with any of your stamped images. I've just chosen Connie Fong. Not going to lie, I absolutely adore them. I will never fall out of love with these. I will never get rid of my Connie Fongs. I absolutely love them. They're such lovely images, but they're not just stamps, Craig, because they've got the dies in there to do the fussy cutting as well. And I'll show you a finished sample. But I'm going to come in with, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do air. Since I didn't do air last time, I'll do the air. I'm going to give her orange hair.
Go for it.
She's going to have orange hair, yes. And I'm going to use the tri-blends. Again, with anything, I always do a little colour swatch at the side to see if it will work. But the lovely thing with this is that you've got your lightest tone. You've then got your medium tone of that burnt orange. And you can see it. And if I just do it in that top corner so you can see there. And then you've got that dark of that colour. And again, when you get much more controlled blending with your tri-blends, Debbie, nearly went in with dark then, that you're going to get a much more controlled blending of that shade. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to start with, and honestly, I absolutely love these pens.
So do I.
I know you're a big fan, Craig.
Well,
I know you are.
I've said, Debbie, and I've said this time and time again, and I will say it, for years, I struggled when it come to alcohol colouring, when it comes to blending and shading. And then I came to, of course, Crafter's Companion, and I started to dabble in with the classiques. And me personally, I was still finding it hard to grasp how the concept works of blending together. Then I went into the tri-blends. I've learnt what I know starting off with the tri-blends. I've then moved into the classics, and that transition from the tri-blends to classics, for me, straight away, mind-blowing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Use what you know from the tri-blends, use it with the classics, and do the same with the illustrators, but maybe in a different form.
Absolutely. So what I've done is I've just laid down that lightest of the colour. In each of your packs that you're going to get in this show-stopping deal, you will get some instructions. There's a little instruction sheet, and it does tell you, and it recommends light, then dark to do the shading, then the medium, then go back in with the light. You can still preserve your highlights, so if you've been following the Academy of Colour, you're absolutely going to know what we're talking about. We say preserve highlights. You can preserve highlights by leaving it a little bit blank, or you can use, there's a pen in the original Academy of Colour that you can use to do those preserved highlights as well. And I know me and you have talked about gel pens before. We use a little white gel pen sometimes as well. But you're actually getting one in that kit, and I think, is it a marker, acrylic marker, off the top of my head if I remember rightly? So it's the white one, isn't it? Yeah, that can help as well. So I'm just going to lay down. Now, we all know that in the middle of the partings, especially, mind you, mine's not too bad now because I've had them redone, but the roots. as darker. They're normally naturally darker. The shadowing is normally naturally darker when you're looking at something, especially when light hits somewhere.
Yeah.
It's normally naturally darker there.
I'm going for a different kind of hairstyle at the moment. I'm kind of letting it grow out with without any wax or anything, just letting it go naturally.
Are you going for a longer look?
Yeah, I might go for like a ponytail. No, I'm joking.
Oh my God, I thought you were being serious.
No, gosh, no. No, I could be like a wrestler just coming in with a long hair down. But yeah, no, joking aside, I know what you mean when it comes to the hair. Not that I kind of have that issue, but as a guy, but no, I know what you mean when it comes to doing the colouring, your alcohol or water-based.
Yeah, so I'm just popping it where I think it would be the darkest, please. And like I said, this is all about learning colour. And if you haven't gone for the Academy colour, but you're going for the show-stopping deal today, absolutely, you're going to love these pens. So I'm going to go in with that mid-tone, and I never go over the top of that dark tone, because if you think of a tri-blend, it's the alcohol content. It's the same colours, it's the same ink that's in there. Sorry, George, I keep doing that. I apologise. It's the same the same ink that's in there. It's just the alcohol content in terms of you've got more in the lighter and less in the darker, and then that mid-proportion one. So it's how it's being worked to a line to get that control blend in, but you don't have to work that out because it's done for you in this pen. So I'm going to go in with that mid-tone. So I'm not going to strip any of that away. If I was to go in with that lighter tone, it'll strip some of that away. So I'm just going a little bit over where I've laid the dark.
Okay.
Circular motions as well. You can do it in circular motions. You can do it in, I think, really anyway, to be fair. I know you like doing circular motions. You're like me, Craig. I think we work alike
we do,
in terms of colouring. And I just go in over that edge. Again, I'm not going to go in and strip back all of that dark colour. I don't want to do that. But what I want to get is that smooth blend. And I know that if I do that, I'm going to absolutely get that, especially when the alcohol dries. And then I'm going to now go back in with the lightest one. And again, I'm not going to go over the top, because if I go over the top, I'm going to bleach it out. Don't want to bleach it out. I've already put my shading in. That's the last thing I want to be doing. So I'm going to go in and do that little bit of connecting. And again, I can still preserve a little bit of a highlight, but what I can actually do as well is just take it down, because I've already left that. And there you can see it's starting to come together.
You can
and I'm
see
going to
that
keep.
already.
I know. I'm so sorry. I want to stop talking because I want to concentrate on my colouring.
I know what it's like. Yeah.
It's awful, isn't it, Craig? You know what I mean.
Do you know who the worst one is?
What's that?
Sarah.
Is she?
She's the worst one. Yeah. If you want, let's be honest. If you want to mute Sarah, put a pen in her hand, a colouring pen. Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's hilarious. She does, though, because she's another lover of colour. Now, if you're wondering why I'm going back in, all I'm doing is, because the pens are still wet, it does mean that I can still move this. If it was dry, it would be difficult to go back in and do that. But while it's still wet, and while it's still a little bit what we call saturation, I can go back in and I can add some more definition. And that's what that's something that I never really thought I could do until I started learning about alcohol colouring properly. And then I thought, well, why didn't you just try that before, Debbie? I think I was just that little bit scared of doing it, Craig, and it's just something you learn. And like you said, you learn as you go along. I'm always learning new tips, new tricks all the time. Yeah. I would never say I am a colourist of like an artist standard, but I love a hobbyist. That's what I've got to call it. I'm a hobbyist in terms of colour.
For me, I know thankfully we are, of course, past that COVID stage of, having to be careful and what have you. And I'd done that 12-week shielding, and I wanted something positive to come out the end of that. And that is where I fully focused on my alcohol colouring. I couldn't leave the house, so I was doing what I could for it to serve a purpose by the end. And that's where I started to learn more of my alcohol colouring when it comes to the tri-blends. I say that I kind of already worked with the tri-blends, and then that's when I spent that time period working with my classics and Illustrator pens, Debbie.
Yeah, it's that practice, and it's one of those pens that you can pick up at any time of the day, any time of the night. You can be sat watching a bit of TV or background noise if you want a little bit of background noise, because I do sometimes. When I'm at my craft desk, I'm a bit like you, Craig. I've got my little iPad up there, and I kind of watch things, but not watch things, if you get me, because I'm concentrating on things that I'm doing. But Yeah, just have a little practice. It could be something that you pick up for 20 minutes a day and just have a little practice with. No, you know, there's no right or wrong way. It's the tuition that I think you'll get, and we've got heaps of it, Craig.
Okay.
Heaps and heaps, and I say heaps and heaps, hours and hours and hours of tuition from all of the team. All of us, we all love colouring. I think there's not one of us that hasn't fallen in love with colouring. I know for some people, they've not tried it before they started with us, but she won't mind me saying, Michelle, like she said, she didn't feel comfortable in colouring, but she's learnt so much, and she's a beautiful colourist. She does some lovely work.
Can I be honest once again?
Yeah.
See, when we kind of first started our crafters TV shows,
Yeah.
I asked, when it comes to colouring, alcohol colouring, not to do many Colour Me Happies.
Did you?
Because I didn't feel comfortable and confident, and that I felt would start to show through to all of you at home. And once again, that journey of alcohol colouring, by following all of you, Debbie, by watching and learning, and again back to the shows that Leanne had done, I feel comfortable now when I do Colour Me Happy shows.
Yeah, and I honestly, I mean, you can see how that's started to come together, where you've got your dark pieces, you've got where the light would possibly shine and bounce on, and again, you can use, you can leave a little bit more. You could leave some white stripes in there. I've done that before, and I said white stripes, little bits of highlights. Where it literally looks like the light's bouncing off the hair. You can have a practice and play. Get to terms and come to terms with how these pens work and how easy it is to get that controlled blending every single time. Sorry, Craig, I'm a little bit I've got to get them right.
Just while you're on that
yeah,
pen,
honestly, fabulous.
Christine Mahoney's asking Debbie, you may have already said this, but what was the colour you're using for the hair?
It is the burnt orange. But does it look orange?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it's got that hint of it, but it looks quite like a golden brown kind of colour.
It does,
but
doesn't it?
This is the burnt orange from that lovely pack that's in the Showstopper deal, and I've just used that tri-blend. And if you're wanting to look, it's the B01, the B02 and the B04 in there. So 3 different shades in one pen, for me, makes this super easy. And like I said, once it dries out, you'll get to see more defined shading there. But I absolutely love it. And then same with the rest, like I said before, and I'll do it again because I do love doing this technique. I wonder if I'll be able to do it with the, I might be able to do it with the pink and the blue. For myself, I do like to have a dabble and a play and mix with colours. And I remember Fiona? Fiona, before she left us, taught me the, do you know you put the colour on top of the tip? Which I thought, what are you doing?
Yes.
I watched her and I'm like, oh my God, I would have never tried that before. But it's a really nice little tip when you want to get a blend in. And people think that you're spoiling the nib, but you're not.
No.
Because it runs back through, the ink runs back through. So it's a nice little way of blending 2 colours between that. And I'll do it on her wings to show you what I mean. So you can start off with, shall we go? Yeah, we'll do pink and then we'll go out to blue again. So I'm going to lay down a little bit of the pink.
So much love for these stamps, Debbie, which I'm not surprised.
Honestly, they're beautiful, beautiful stamps.
Really
I absolutely adore them. I really do. But again, I'll just lay down a little bit of the colour. And I'm going to come in with a bit of the blue down the top part. But to get that blend in between, if you're not comfortable just running them between the two, and I'll just show you what I'm on my way to do.
Right.
Let's go in. You can, and I'll do it with the blue on the pink, the pink on the blue. Wait a minute. Pink on the blue.
Okay.
Drop it onto the top and let some of that ink from that pen come out into there, and you'll see that it covers the top of that nib.
Right.
And I don't know if have you tried this technique before, Craig?
Do you know something? I've only tried it once, and that was when one of our discovery kits come out, because it teaches you in one of those.
Yeah, and that it means that you can just now literally get that shade between the two, and you get a beautiful bit of a blend without too much. And like I said, if you're probably worrying, oh my goodness, you'll get it comes back out. So eventually, so you've got like a bit of a hint of a pink and a blue running through there, and then it runs back through to blue again. And it means that you can get that lovely transition of the two between there. And it's really, really, honestly, it's so easy to do, and it's such I love this technique. And it's like you said, one of the discovery kits, it was actually Fiona that had showed me, and I was like, oh my God, that's amazing, I need to try that. It was the same thing with these pens, being able to colour black and white photos. I'd never even realised you could do things like that.
I hadn't.
Oh my God, the things you learn,
You
honestly,
do.
the things you learn. But you can see that lovely smooth transition between the two. That's a lovely little tip that you can do as well. But absolutely fabulous. Now, of course, I could continue to colour. And I mean, how much time have we got left, boys? Yeah, I tell you what then, I'll stop. But let me just show you. If you can see between that two there, what our George is showing you there, you can see that transition of the colour, and you just turn it around until it runs back into its blue. But there was quite a lot on there. You can see I've got three squiggles out of there, and you can see it's almost like a magic pen.
It is.
That's what it looks like, but it does go back to its own blue. So now you can see, instead of the pinky bluey colour, you've now back into that blue. So don't worry, it doesn't, and I genuinely thought, oh my God, I've ruined tip. There's no way I'm trying that, until I took that plunge and that leap and tried. However, let's talk about tri-blends. Beautiful control blending every single time. Then you've got the classics that are in there and the illustrators, which offer you different nibs and different colours, because you've got a great big box. How many is in that box? Is it 20?
So in the illustrators,
in the
you've got
illustrators,
36.
36. I thought it was 26. 36 pens. Dual-tipped markers, and then you've got the classics, 12 and then you've got the 6 tri-blends and the Nina cardstock. Wow, it's like an alcohol colourist dream having a bundle like that. And honestly, I think that's a real well-worthy showstopper that I know you'll love. And have a dabble, have a play. Enjoy.
You do. And just point out as well, as Debbie was saying, yes, you've got your 6 tri-blend pens, you've got 18 colours, because you've got the 3 in each one. All of these, everything that myself and Debbie's been showing you, and so much more, including that alcohol colour and showstopper deal. This is £65 or $100 for anyone that is platinum. That comes down to £52 or $80. Or of course, this might be your very first purchase here on Crafters TV. That means you're going to get 20% off, as you've seen from the video with Sarah just not that long ago. You'll get it for that platinum price as well. So that, as well as everything else, you're going to find across on our website. Of course, it's crafterscompanion.co.uk.com or .eu. Have a look at Shop the Day. You'll find everything that we've been looking at, and so much more that Ben and Leanne will be looking at later on today on Crafters TV, all on that section. And I would recommend going into that New Year, New Craft section on the website. You'll see a lovely little picture of Debbie Fisher. Click on that, and you've got selected items that have 23% off, because we are in, of course, 2023. Now, if you are going to do your stamping, maybe you're going to be using some of the stamps we've got on the show. Maybe you're going to be using, of course, the stamps with the Academy of Colour. This one here, this is your 8x8 stamping platforms, plus the base, plus your magnetic discs as well. So you'll have seen so many of us using it day in, day out on Crafters TV. Today's price, $19.99 or $23.99. This is a key staple tool within your crafty needs on a daily basis, and we are giving you 25% off, which is incredible. So that $19.99 or $23.99, that is with that saving of 25%. But of course, if you're platinum, it comes down even more to $25.99. Where did that 25 come from? $15.99 or $19.19 for that 8x8 stamping platform base and the magnetic discs. Right, we are going to be having a look at the Academy of Colour just in a moment, because it is so busy. So if you're new to it, or you need a little bit of a recap, myself and Debbie will be going over that ahead of Ben and Leanne coming in later in the day to go over in a lot more detail. So we're going to give you an opportunity to check out your baskets, because so many of them are bulging. So we'll see you just in a wee moment.
Many of our viewers bring up time and time again, and that's our wax seal gate.
Thinking, Joe, it might not work as well because I've put too much.
Oh, I've forgotten to put me thing in place.
Because I have a way of words that I think that doesn't engage with that and can come out all wrong. Water. that I've had a
That
bit
wasn't
of
the one you just
inking.
washed your brush in, was it?
Sorry. Yes, but it doesn't matter.
No, it wasn't, was it? It was. Are you kidding?
I'm going to have to say, it's a slip of the tongue. I'm going to say it's maybe to do with my Scottish accent. I'm maybe going to say it's because of Mr. Ben Mosby. He is, well, yeah, he doesn't help matters.
I've made pots that have exploded when I fired them. I've done zips in inside out. It happens to everybody.
We've all spilt our glitter all over our project or knocked the water over.
You're right.
I've just noticed I've got my dress on inside out.
So I was messing about doing some backgrounds with the sparkling, took the lid off it and managed to catch the pot somehow, and the whole thing came towards me, down my front, across my lap, onto the floor.
I went to reach for the water and, you know, do the tapping with and so there was less tapping and more sort of a tsunami. I've got some... We get to know people from places and walks of life that we wouldn't come across in our everyday life if it wasn't for Crafters TV and doing what we do.
I got so many lovely comments from people when I started doing the presenting, and it was just really such a lovely feeling. And it's nice that people keep messaging in. You know, we see the same people. We know you can build up that kind of relationship with those people. So it's just the fact that people like what we do and they're pleased. And I do love it when people send us photographs of the items that they've made.
We talk about customers, but really they go in as a customer, come out as a friend. The support that I get is amazing. The messages I get are amazing.
Me personally, it is personal interaction. I've never had the best of health. I've always been open about that with our viewers at Crafters TV. So many people are in the same situation as me health-wise. Other people have got a completely different health issues. They understand and they relate to what I'm going through, what others are going through. So whether we interact on a crafting basis or whether we interact on a health basis, a personal basis, we're all there to support one another. It is incredible.
The reaction of viewers when they come to meet us is worth all of the early mornings when we have to get up for our early morning shows.
Some of the customers come on as craft ambassadors and things like that, craft along with us, and being able to actually chat with them on air. I love it. I really love that connection with them.
We've had lots of shows where we've done like craft alongs, especially where we've had viewers craft along with us. We had a particular viewer, Joy, who joined us once before, and she literally made me cry on air, and Joe, because the things she said about us, it really was quite humbling that there are people out there that watch us and invite us into their living rooms and really treat us like family.
I'm going to go straight in. That Showstopper deal with the brand new Academy of Colour. A fifth of the stock has gone already. So we're going to go over that in a little bit more detail in a moment, but you're going to get all of that. That's giving you your brand new Academy of Colour, cute character box, as well as a lot of colouring and mediums as well. So as I say, we'll touch upon that just in a minute. Did want to say, Laura Gray on YouTube is saying, I use the burnt orange tri-blends for pumpkin in my fall theme cards. That's a good one. I've had to replace the marker. Yeah, I've done that on a few of my colours as well. Michelle Parsons on YouTube is saying, good idea with the actual stamps that Debbie was using a moment ago. The new tricolour multicolour pens would be perfect for the wings. If you've seen any of Leanne's show with the new tricolour markers in that burgundy barrel, you know that she'll use these stamps. Lillian on Facebook saying that I was busy at the start of the show and was only listening. I heard Debbie say that she was going to get started on the alcohol, which made me laugh. Yeah, getting started on the alcohol markers. Yes, that'll be at the weekend, no doubt. Julie on Facebook saying, yay, I purchased my first Academy of Colour. Let me learn and my journey will begin. Absolutely, it will do. Jenny Briggs on Facebook saying, I've got the tri-blend brush, something I've wanted for ages. Brilliant. So chuffed to hear that. That's definitely going to be starting your journey. And talking about starting journey, whether you are experienced colorist and you want to then just dip into the colouring knowledge of Leanne, or you're going right back to the beginning when it comes to colouring, I would say, in my opinion, if that is the case for either or, your Academy of Colour is the way to go. Now, Debbie says on Crafters TV, all of us on the team, we're here with ideas, tuitions and education, and you can go back whenever you like on our YouTube channel, Crafters TV, and watch that whenever you like. But if you do want to get that uninterrupted, and that's the key thing with the education Leanne gives you, it's uninterrupted from anyone here on this side here. You've got Leanne in her full undivided attention. Pause, rewind, fast forward, and do all of that. So that is coming with your brand new Academy of Colour. Cute characters. This is one that's been most anticipated since, well, before Christmas and New Year. If you want to go for just the box on its own, $33.99 or $44.95. But if you're platinum, it's going to come down to $27.19 or $35.96. So that's just the box on its own. So you get everything included, but that's just the box on its own. But please keep in mind, when it comes to the Showstopper deal, we have got a fifth of the stock has gone already, which is phenomenal, and it just goes to show that you've realised the actual kind of savings that you're getting when it comes to that Showstopper deal. So if you are looking at it on the website, it's called the Watercolor Showstopper deal. So within this one here, you are going to be getting all of that. Does work out that you're paying for the Academy of Colour, and everything else you're going to get for £20 or $20. Also, you will get your 50 extra bonus points as well. The other thing I do want to point out is your Academy of Colour and your 12 aqua pens. Them both together come to $56.98 or $77.94 for just those two. Look at all 5 elements that you're getting for today's price, £55 or $65. But even better, if you're a platinum, of course, that's going to come down to £44 or $52. So let's have a look at the Academy of Colour. Now, we won't go into great depths as we did at the start of the show. We'll talk you around, of course, the new cute characters. Leanne and Ben, they're going to be in the remaining of the day. So 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 a.m. Eastern Time or 6 a.m. Pacific Time. That's going to be based around, of course, your watercolouring. And then at the end of the day, 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, they're going to be looking more at your alcohol colouring, because it's all basis of this week being New Year, New Craft, and today we're focusing on stamping, and then of course we're going to be colouring with different mediums. So let's have a look at our brand new cute character Academy of Colour. Now, we were telling you before, if you are new to us on Crafters TV, the Academy of Colour is all about that education you're getting from Leanne. Now, you can use it as a standalone collection if you want, but what you'll find when it comes to the education, Leanne, you know, she will step you through colouring when it comes to these stamps and these pens, but Leanne will show you how you can get the best out of your tools, and she'll start to use other stamps, other pens from previous Academy of Colours. But within this one, you're getting all of these cute character stamps, and they're exactly that. They are cute. You've got your little bunny rabbits there kissing together with the love hearts. Good for, of course, Valentine's. You've got the mouse. Mouse is an absolute favourite to so many of you this morning. That gorgeous fairy. You've got the pussycat as well. You've got the little ballerina. And you've got a couple of the sentiments as well. When it comes to this Academy of Colour box, you're getting your pens. So these ones being your dual pens. So you're getting 6 which are alcohol-based, 3 which are your water-based, and then you're getting more of your watercolour cardstock. You're also going to be getting more of your alcohol marker cardstock. Let's not forget you will also get your plastic divider that is then going to work with your stamped set. It's going to go into your original Academy of Colour binder. And then this is how they look should you choose to watercolour with them, or if you choose to alcohol colour with them. Following along from that education Leanne gives you. But then let's have a little look at what you will be learning when it comes to the class. So this one with the bunny rabbits, this is all about giving you that fur texture when it comes to alcohol colouring. So you'll step by step when it comes to what you learn. Leanne will always say as well, any of the notes that she gives you, you're able to then screenshot it if you want to, or replicate the notes if you want to. That's up to you. This one here is your alcohol colouring. So I'm not going to spend too long on these ones, but you can see here that one is your watercolouring. That one with your ballerina is then your alcohol colouring. So you've got all of these step-by-steps when it comes to watercolouring, when it comes to alcohol colouring, in all of these cute characters. So you've got all of the, I mean, how gorgeous are these? You can use the same colours that Leanne uses in the education. You can use different ones if you want to. That's entirely up to you. But the basis of your Academy of Colour is what you've learned at the start of your journey, what you will keep on learning throughout, and what Leanne will keep recovering is shading, blending, where that light source is coming from, where it's going to, preserving that highlight by building up depth when it comes to your grey pens. All of that and the education, which all of you at home, or so many of you at home, will say that the cost of the Academy of Colour is worth the education alone. Now, if you want to go for that Showstopper deal, £55 or $65, Platinum comes down to £44 or $52, and that is exceptional value for money, hence why a fifth of the stock has gone. The Showstopper deal, we don't have as much quantity as we do when it comes to the actual Academy of Colour. So when the Showstopper deal has gone, it has gone, and the Academy of Colour has continued to grow time and time again. Every time a new box comes out, so many of you have dipped into just one of the box and you've realised how incredible the education is, and have gone past back to some of the other boxes. Some of them are still available on the website. Just head across there, type it into the search engine, and just put in your Academy of Colour, and what we have still in stock you'll find across on our website, of course. We're still sticking with this one here. Debbie, it's one of those where, as I said before, if you're starting out, this is perfect. But if you are experienced, you know, please don't be put off by that factor that you feel as though you're experienced, because you're still going to learn lots of things.
Yeah, you're going to learn so much. It's that education for me that's key to this collection. And I say collection because it has been a collection up to now, if you started with that original. I'm going to just base this, though, because obviously I'm aware there's people joining us all the time who may not already know about it. So I'm going to work with just the items that are in the box, just to kind of show you that it is a standalone box, as well as being part of that education, part of that that process, especially if you've been collecting since the beginning, because you'll totally understand with your ring binder all the different ways. And do you know when we were trying to work out what earlier? It's all written down in there for us. Portraits, flora and fauna, feathers and furs, cute characters, and then there may be one or two others coming along, but I'm not going to say any more than that. You guys who've already got will understand, because you'll have got your folders. However, absolutely fabulous. We did the dual colour alcohol. We're going to move to now, and I've lost one of my pens. There it is, Craig. We're going to move to the dual colour aqua, the water-based medium that's in this box. And again, if you take a look at the colours, we've got quite a nice plethora of colours to play with. I know that Leanna later on probably, and I would assume, will be using across the board, because it is a system, and it is a system that you can build up with lots of different colours. This is just 3 latest ones. No duplicates, no replicas. They're all brand new colours that are exclusive to this particular box, and that's just what I want to stress. You won't find any of those in any of the originals. They're all, it's like it's building up a collection. That is what it is. But it is a box that you can work with for the very first time. If you've just joined us today, you can absolutely get this box, and you can get crafting, and you can get watercolouring and alcohol colouring, you've got the cute stamps, and you can join that education. It's not that we're saying you can't join it. Absolutely, you can join in and join in those groups as well. So, beautiful colours to get started with. Gorgeous stamps. Again, I absolutely love the stamps. I've gone for the little cute mouse with the umbrella. Thought I had to do it with this one. I'm going to talk about the importance, though, of switching now your ink pad.
Okay.
We would not be able to use our alcohol-based one that I had earlier for our watercolour. So it's the watercolour one. And again, the little tip there is we've popped a little paintbrush on the front, so you can see that it's non-smearing with watercolour. For me, it's key to getting the right, correct results, and you'll find those ready available on the website.
Yes.
I've taken a sheet as well of the watercolour cardstock that's in the kit, not the alcohol one, and that's just for any of the newbies out there. It's premium water-based cardstock. Watercolour cardstock, sorry, that is perfect for your, and if I say it right again, I'll do it right this time, dual colour aqua. So I'm just going to stamp that. I am using our, what we consider to be a hero tool, our stamping platform with the magnetic base. And again, you can see you get a beautiful stamped image each and every single time. And then what we're going to do is, I'm just going to move that back onto the carrier sheet, Craig, because I know what I'm like. I'll probably end up going home with it. And then I'll be in trouble because Leanne's using this later. So I'm not going to do that, but I'll just move all of those things out of the way. Right, so we've got 6 colours that we can be playing with. If you have got the original Academy of Colour, there is some paintbrushes in there as well, and a water spritzer.
There is indeed.
I can't find them. They've gone out of the box, Craig, so I'm going to bring in some of our Royal and Langnickel brushes that you'll find available on the website. You can do one of 2 things. Because you've got the premium watercolour cardstock, you can go straight on, grab your water, and I've got my water in a little pot. Craig, just give me a nod. Do not pick that up, because mine is here and I've put it in the same cup. I mean, what a silly Billy. I should not have done that, but I'll just take a...
Silly Billy. Yes. Just to say,
I'll just move it underneath there so I don't get confused.
On our website, we've got a couple of deals when it comes to Nina cardstock and watercolour cardstock. So there's actually a couple of options. Have a look on the website for Nina and watercolour. There's an option where you can go for single packs, and you can get so many for, you can get 3 for £12 here in the UK. And when it comes to your watercolour card, so it works out £9.98. Buy 2, get 1 free. So just a few options to stock up if you just want the cardstock.
Perfect. So shall we get colouring?
Let's do it.
Let's get colouring. Now, I know, Craig, you're a big fan of using your glass mat as a palette, aren't you? Where you can, of course, scribble straight onto there and then pick up with a paintbrush and paint. But you can also go directly onto your cardstock as well. I've just got a damp brush, not a wet through brush, a damp brush. So I've dipped it into my water and dabbed off the excess just round the onto some kitchen roll, and that's all you want. You don't want a really wet through brush. And then because I'm colouring, I mean, if you're doing the more techniquey things like your backgrounds and all those kind of things, you absolutely can. But I'm just going to come in with a little bit of that colour and just pop some down, and then take my brush and draw the colour out. So again, let me just go in and draw out some colour. And it's literally, it like melts away at the colour. I just think is just beautiful. Again, you can go on directly on there though, and then you can pick up, and then you can do the same as well. So you have options.
You've got the option,
and I think, but what I will say is, perhaps if it's your first time of doing it, maybe do this method and pick up and learn. But I'm pretty sure, again, our lovely Leanne later on will be giving you lots of hints and tips and mixing colours as well, because we've got some nice colours in here. We've got a spice and we've got a tan that you can be using and mixing your colours together to create different colours if you want to do so as well. So we could create another lovely little colour into there, bring that down. And create a new colour.
Yeah.
Now, I love watercolour. I don't know about yourself, Craig.
I'm the same, yeah.
I love it because it's very forgiving.
Very.
It's super forgiving, and very easy to achieve as well in terms of when you come to doing shading and things like that. So I'm just going to come back in just up there.
And that's the thing as well, is okay, you've got these stamps that you can see Debbie's using just now, But I referred to it earlier on, but you know, using that educational purpose that Leanne's going to give you, you're then going to be able to use the knowledge of what you've learned in with your other stamps, in with your other pens as well. So if you feel as though that you're not getting as much use out of the pens for whatever reason, then that education of what you're going to be learning, you're going to then start to use that with what you've got when it comes to your tri-blends or your classique or your illustrators or sparkle, aqua. It really is that basis of working in with your colours.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I'm just having a play with a couple of the colours, popping down a little bit of that dark one. We do have as well, not just paintbrushes, Craig. We have our Spectrum Noir paintbrushes that are you just fill with water.
Yeah,
I use those a lot as well. But yeah, I adore working with colour. I adore working with these pens as well. And the duo colour, again, I love the fact that you've got two different colours that you can mingle, you can mix with, you can play around with, but it's water-based. So, of course, with water-based means that you can add to as well, pick up with your paintbrush and colour in to get some of that shading, that depth and that dimension every single time. I'm just going to build that up. You can dry off in between your stages. I'm not going to worry about the little bit that I've gone out because I can come back in later on and add a little bit more in there. But again, water-based medium does mean that you've got a little bit more, what's the word? That I'm looking for, Craig. It's got to escape my mind. Oh my days.
Well, you've got more shades, don't you? You've
Yeah.
got the shade, the options of the shades.
Yeah,
you've got.
but I absolutely love our markers, and these are our water-based ones. And I'm just literally using the teeny weeniest of the amount just onto. What was that?
The Watercolor Showstopper deal, which includes our brand new Academy of Colour, a quarter of that stock has gone already. So we are 1 hour and 45 minutes into our first live show of the day, and a quarter of that Showstopper deal is gone, where you're going to get your brand new Academy of Colour, you're also going to get your watercolour card, you're going to get a discovery kit all about watercolouring, you're also going to get your aqua pens as well, you're also going to get 3-pack of sparkle pens, all of that for £55 or $65. If you're platinum, it comes down to £44 or $52. To put it into perspective, when it comes to that today's price, if you were to go for just the Academy of Colour and the 12-pack aqua pens on their own, that would be more than the today's price that you would be paying. So that's why a quarter of that stock has gone already.
Sorry, Craig, I've got lost again.
No,
I'm so sorry. I do it all the time.
Don't you worry.
I literally I could hear you talking, but I think I zoned out.
You zoned out.
So I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
No, that's
it just happens.
Fine. And it does happen. Just to say as well, I think maybe there was a little bit of confusion on what Debbie was saying a moment ago. So as Debbie said, so the pens within the new Academy of Colour, they're not featured within any of the other ones, but you may see the same colour tones within tri-blends or within your classiques. But the actual pens you've got in the cute characters, you don't get duplicates when it comes to the other ones. So it was just so.
I'd confuse people. I'm good at doing that, Craig.
No, not
I'm forever
at all,
confusing people.
Yeah, no, you did cover that. I think there was just a couple of people that were just unsure about that one. So yeah not a problem.
Super, super cute. I'm going to move just over to his ears as well. So I'm going to just add a little bit of that colour in and not do too much with that because I'm quite happy with the rest of him. But again, it's just about having a play. These super cute characters, I absolutely adore them. I think they're so cute. But I'm going to move on and do a little bit of, because we've got a nice pink in here as well. We've got 2 shades of the pink in this one. Actually, 3. When you think about it, because you've got your spice, which I think you could get away with being a pink. But again, you can have a little play and a little mix with colours. And I'm just going to drop a little bit down so I can see, in terms of doing that colouring, which ones I want to use. So sorry, George, I've done it again. You should just say to me, Debbie, do it a little bit lower down because I'm not there. I'm not up there. I'm not up there, Debbie. I can't see what you're doing. We're going to go down with that light one. So again, very easy to pop on there and then build up that little bit of colour where you think there'd be some shading, which would definitely be around his central ear.
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So again, and I'm literally taking the tiniest of amount and popping that little bit. It's tiny. I'm barely using any because it is like watercolour effects, but in a pen form. And again, just so easy to do. You can see I've got a little bit over there, but you'll forgive me. You'll forgive me.
Please remember as well, once you've taken the classes from Leanne, there is that Facebook group as well. Anyone can join. Rachel very kindly within the comments put a link to that group. It's a friendly group. Everyone is helping each other with help and advice. Leanne dots in as well, and if there's any kind of little hints or tips that you want, or if you want Leanne's advice on what you've done, if you want any additional direction, Leanne pops in there herself, so anyone can join that one. But for instance, once you've coloured in one of your cute characters or any of the other ones, that's when you can post it. Let people see your journey. And the key thing that I say as well, with certainly right at the beginning Academy of Colour, but even within each box, please keep everything that you do. You've got your plastic wallet within the dividers as well. Keep everything that you do so you can see that journey and how incredible that the Academy of Colour education is with Leanne.
Yeah, and you're differencing yourself when you've been colouring for a while. You'll see that, and you'll see the transition between when you first started to what you can achieve once you've got all that expert tuition from our lovely Leanne. It really is. Oh, it's worth its weight in gold.
It is.
It's absolutely worth its weight in gold. It really is.
I think what it is as well, Debbie, is you can do your colouring and blending like you're doing now, that Leanne will have taught you previous, and she'll go over that again within certain of the education classes. But then don't forget as well, Leanne is teaching you kind of like the fur texture. So the mouse, you might want to go in with that smooth aspect, or you might want to have that stippled effect when it comes to that texturous look. You can do that if you want. You can start to cross over and pull what you've learnt from Leanne and start to use that within any of the different characters or stamps from any of the Academy of Colour or your collection.
Sorry, Craig.
No, that's okay.
Sorry, caught me again. Caught me again.
Don't apologise.
I apologise. I'm just enjoying myself, and I'm just enjoying having a little play. Basically, that's all I'm doing. I'm just having a little play.
On Facebook is saying, this live is fabulous. Love colouring. I find it so calming.
It is calming and silencing. Just speaking, because you get lost in your little world of colour, and you just enjoy the process, enjoy every minute of that tuition with our lovely Leanne. You just can't, money can't buy tuition. We've often said that, Craig, we wish we could lock her up into a room and get her to fill, and look what's happened. I mean, honestly, it's like a dream come true having her in there, because you literally pick up these little hints, these little tips, and play as well. Once you've learnt those things, just have a little play, have a little dabble.
And you've always got that education to go back on, and for any ages, as I said earlier on within Wake Up Call, if your son or daughter or grandson, granddaughter, nephew, niece, they're at an age where they can concentrate and they can follow, then a young age is a perfect opportunity, to just soak up all that knowledge, and what better knowledge to have than Leanne's.
And I'm not wasting a single bit of ink that's on me. I'm just going to go in there. Let that dry as well, and you can see it's come together really quickly. Colouring in with these is really quickly, and of course you can do things like snip him out if you want, or you could take one of your other colours from your other pieces and create a little background. Going off with that lovely sample that we did showed you earlier, that's exactly what you could be doing. You could be achieving those looks, and that has been done. All that has been done to create that is a masking technique. So using our masking paper, stamp over, cut out, stick it on the top, and then you create your background. And it literally is a few of the blues that have just been literally splattered onto the card to create a lovely background there, like it's raining. And to ground, you can do the grounding very, very easily. Just take a little bit of colour again. I'm only going to take a little bit. I'm going to go back in with a damp brush, pick up, and then you can ground him as well. So you just literally, by popping a little bit of a shadow underneath, you can ground him, and then of course you're drawing out that water. You can put that shading in where he would be stood, and then just draw out the rest. So you've just literally grounded him now and made him standing on, it took seconds to do that, seconds. So that's the kind of thing that you can be doing, and those are the techniques that you can be doing. Those are things that you can be learning from our lovely Leanne. And believe you me when I say, you've got her for 2 full hours with this brand new latest edition of the Academy of Colour and all about those cute characters. You're going to have an absolute blast. I've just been a little bit like a warm-up act for the main event because she's coming on at 2 p.m. We've seen her go past.
Yeah,
we know she's in the building. We know she's a very busy lady, and she'll fill you in with absolutely everything. Loads of tips, loads of tuitions. You just couldn't ask for a better teacher in Leanne, and she's going to be here with it officially at 2 p.m. UK time. So you're going to have an absolute, honestly, a brilliant afternoon.
You really, really will. Can you as well split it over to, because it's New Year, new craft, today's all about stamping. So as Debbie was saying, at 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 a.m. Eastern time, 6 a.m. Pacific time, I believe, well, another professional's coming in on this side. That's, of course, Ben, whereas they'll have a look at that watercolouring aspect to it. And then later on in the day, you will have more of that alcohol basis that you're going to learn lots of things from. So the Academy of Colour will be featured throughout the whole of the rest of today. That last show, of course, is 6 o'clock here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern time, or 10 a.m. Pacific time. But let's have just a wee quick look at some of these finished samples. So that one there is with watercolouring from the Academy of Colour. That one is with alcohol colouring. Then you've got the mouse with umbrella that Debbie just used there. That one there is, of course, your watercolouring, and then your alcohol colouring. So whether you're just going to use them straight onto the alcohol card or the watercolour card, or then you're going to start to team these with some of your pattern papers that you've got from Sarah's Seg, Nature Garden, Crafter's Companion collections, or of course you're going to use that education from Leanne and do your own backgrounds, which you can absolutely do. So you can do some new coloured backgrounds when it comes to the pens that are in this brand new Academy of Colour, which is just launched today, and it is all about the cute characters. And this is one that has been awaited for a good number of weeks. So many of you have been waiting for this one. So we do have kind of 2 options for you. The most popular one has been the Showstopper. So this is where you're going to get the brand new Academy of Colour, which is all about the cute characters. You're also going to get your Discovery Kit, which is all about your watercolouring, 13 elements within that one. You're also going to get your primary aqua pens, 12 pens there. You're also going to get your 3-pack of sparkle pens, and you're going to get a full pack of your watercolour card. When it comes to that one there, you're going to be £55 or $65. Platinum comes down to £44 or $52. You are going to get 100 extra bonus points on top of that. But as I've been pointing out throughout the show as well, in that bundle, the Academy of Colour and your aqua pens alone come to £56.98 or $77.94. So that's more than what your today's price is. But you're getting everything for £55 or $65. Now, maybe you're like, that's great, Craig. I've got all the other elements. I don't know who I would give them to if I bought that Showstopper. I just want the Academy of Colour box on its own. Well, of course, we've got you covered. This is the Academy of Colour Cute Character. So for the box on its own, of course, you get all the contents inside, £33.99 or $44.95. If you are platinum, however, that's going to come down to $27.19 or $35.96. And keeping in mind that it's just launched this morning here on Crafters TV, on that today's price, you've even got 30% saving, which is a win-win all round for the Academy of Colour. I cannot believe where that show has gone. It is absolutely flown in. Miriam is saying, I love watercolouring more than alcohol colouring. It's one of those, some like one better than the other. We've also got Rosalind saying, watercolour really is forgiven when you make a mistake. And Janet is saying, love watching you both. Going to order the watercolour Showstopper deal. Can I use any ink pads, or do I need to use certain ones? As Debbie had pointed out within the show earlier on, alcohol colouring. Oh, perfect, she's got one right in her hand.
Did you say you were going for the watercolour one or the alcohol?
Well, both, and she just wants to know which one is used for which?
George, can we do a quick flick? These are the two that you need, and then we do them in 4 colours. So we've got noir black, watercolour, alcohol. When you're colouring with alcohol, not colouring with alcohol markers. When you're colouring with alcohol markers, it's this one. When you're colouring with water base, it's this one. There's 4 colours in each. You've got noir black, pebble, rustic brown, and flagstone. And choices are yours, but I always go with the black because they're the most popular ones that we use. So alcohol is in the red casing, and the watercolour is in the turquoise casing.
Perfect.
There you go.
Excellent. Debbie, thank you so much. I've had
You're
a blast, as I
it's been
always
lovely.
do.
That has, yeah.
When are you next back on?
I am not back now until, I believe, because I've just literally done a few crazy days. So I'm not back now until, I think it's next Wednesday. I'm working from home. So, yes, it'll be next Wednesday that I'm back up. But you've got loads coming up.
Loads.
Oh, my days. So much coming up with so many amazing people on the team as well. So thank you very much. I've enjoyed it. But I'm away to head back down south.
Perfect.
Not south,
yeah.
Because I live in, because I call it, but South Yorkshire. I'm heading back down to South Yorkshire is where I'm going, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, enjoy. Hopefully you've got a day or two that you can have to yourself and just chill and relax. Right, as Debbie did say, we've got still a cracking day lined up for you. Today's all about the launch of our brand new Academy of Colour. We are doing our New Year New Craft this week. Today is all about stamping. So Ben and Leanne, they're going to be taking the reins for the remaining of today. 2 o'clock here in the UK, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time. They're going to be looking more at the watercolour basis. And then 6 p.m. here in the UK, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Time. They're going to look more at your alcohol colouring. It is Leanne. Get your questions and get the comments into Ben, and he will fire them across to Leanne. Use this opportunity to dip in to all of that knowledge that Leanne has when it comes to colouring. But it is, of course, all about our brand new Academy of Colour. Don't forget, everything that you've seen Debbie talk about and use, as well as Ben and Leanne throughout the day, is across on the website crafterscompanion.co.uk.com.au. Go into shop the day, but while you're there, have a look at that lovely photo of Debbie Fisher with that New Year New Craft. Click on that. You're going to find selective items, and there's quite a few items there with a saving of 23% off, because we're in that new year of 2023. Right, I will see you all day tomorrow with the lovely Jan. Have a lovely rest of the day when it comes to Ben and Leanne, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.